topic for today is all about motor behavior, motor control, motor learning, and motor development. But before that, let us know first our objectives for today. Okay, class, can you read it together?
Objectives. At the end of the lesson, the students should be able to A. Define motor learning and its relationship to other related disciplines. Letter B. Identify the difference between motor control, motor development, and motor learning. Letter C. Perform specific examples or scenarios of the motor control and motor learning in exercise or sports.
Okay, thank you. So our objectives for today are, at the end of the lesson, you should be able to define motor learning and its relationship to the other disciplines. Second is to identify the difference between motor control, motor development, and motor learning. And last, you are going to perform specific examples or scenarios of the motor control and motor learning in exercise or sport. Okay, so I have here a hard copy of our discussion so that you will be guided. Okay, can you distribute it, Via?
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, so let's proceed to our topic. Okay, first, what is motor behavior? Anyone? Rainan? Okay, so motor behavior is the study of how we produce
Movements.
Okay, movements. It is the study of how we produce movement, or the study of our motor skills are learned, are controlled, and developed. So by the way, class, what is motor skills?
Ma'am.
Okay, Sophia, you have an idea?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so what is motor skills?
Motor skills involves specific body movements or body muscles to perform a certain task like riding a bike, jogging, running, walking, eating, etc.
Very well said. The psychological and physiological investigation of motor behavior are divided into three disciplines. So what are the three disciplines of motor behavior? Anyone? Okay, again, Sophia.
The three disciplines of motor behavior are motor control, motor development, and motor learning.
Okay, exactly. So the three disciplines of motor behavior are motor control, motor development, and motor learning. So first discipline is motor control. So what is motor control? Can you read it? Kim.
Motor control is the study of postures and movements and the mechanisms that underlie them. Also, motor control can be defined as a study of how an individual can execute designated motor skills through the neuromuscular control process in response to external environmental demands.
Okay, thank you. So motor control class is the study of posture and
movement.
So it is the process of initiating. It is your brain's ability to produce smooth controlled movements. So it is the study of how an individual can execute designated motor skills through the neuromuscular control process in response to external environmental demands. Just like, for example, in a volleyball game. So if you are a server or you are assigned to serve the ball, so you need to control your muscles. You need to control your muscles in your arms. And how you're going to serve the ball, how long or how the speed of the ball being served. That is, we call motor control. Okay. So next is motor development. Okay, what is motor development? Okay, you, Via.
Motor development refers to the development of a child's bones, muscles, and ability to move around and manipulate his or her environment. Motor development can be divided into two sections, gross motor development and fine motor development.
Okay, thank you. So motor development class is the physical and cognitive growth. It is the development of our body, the development of yourselves, the development of your bone, your muscles, your ability and skills on doing that certain things or tasks. Okay? Just like, for example, you are an athlete player of a volleyball game. So you need to be more developed to your skills. So you need to undergo training or exercise, practice so that your skills will enhance and develop. That is, we call a motor development. And it can be divided into two sections. What are they? What are those?
The two sections of motor development are gross motor development and fine motor development.
Okay, the two sections of motor development are gross motor development and fine motor development. So what is the difference between the two? What is the difference between the gross motor development and fine motor development?
Ma'am.
Okay, Via.
The difference between gross motor development and fine motor development is that gross motor development involves the development of the large muscles in the child's body, while in the fine motor development it involves the small muscles of the body, especially in the hand.
Okay, thank you. So the difference between the two is that gross motor development involves the development of large muscles. Just like when you dance, when you do walking, exercising, biking, cycling, swimming, that involve a large muscles of our body, whereas fine motor development involves only
Small muscles of the body.
okay, it involves only the development of small muscles, especially in the hands, in the wrists, in the fingers, in the feet, just like writing.
Eating, ma'am.
Oh yes, eating, brushing teeth, zippering, zippering. What else? Um,
Drawing.
oh
Drawing some
yes, that's right. That is called a fine motor
Motor
development. Okay, so motor development class also involves the child's vestibular and proprioceptive systems. Both of these are part of the child's sensory system. So what is vestibular and proprioceptive system? Okay, Kim.
Vestibular system is located in the inner ear and allows the body to maintain balance. While the
Proprioceptive system.
proprioceptive system involves the inner ear, the muscles, joints, and tendons. It allows the body to understand where it's located.
Okay, thank you. So let's proceed to motor learning. So what is motor learning? Can you read, Gia?
Yes, ma'am. Motor learning has been defined as a set of internal processes associated with practice or experience leading to relatively permanent changes in the capability for skilled behavior. In other words, motor learning is when complex processes in the brain occur in response to practice or experience of a certain skill, resulting in changes in the central nervous system that allow for production of a new motor skill.
Okay, so motor learning class is the set of internal processes associated with practice or experience leading to relatively permanent changes in the capability for skilled behavior. So, motor learning allow us to develop new skills. So, it is a learned skill test, and then you are going to execute or perform it. Okay, so there are three stages of motor learning. So what are the three stages? So what are the three stages in motor learning?
Okay, ma'am. The three stages of motor learning are
Okay.
cognitive stage, associative stage, and autonomous stage.
Okay, thank you. So the three stages of motor learning are cognitive stage, associative stage, and autonomous stage. So first is cognitive stage. So can you read, Sophia? Can you read the cognitive stage?
Cognitive stage. During this initial stage of motor learning, the goal is to develop an overall understanding of the skill.
Mm-hmm.
The learner must determine what the objective of the skill is and begin to process environmental factors that will affect their ability to produce the skill.
Okay, thank you. So, cognitive stage, during the initial stage of motor learning, the goal is to develop an overall understanding of the skills. So, in the word cognitive stage, it's in our mind, in our history. Just like, for example, in a volleyball game, if you want to join the volleyball team, or if you want to play a volleyball, so there is a curiosity because you are new. There is a curiosity. If there is a curiosity, then you are going to know about it, to learn about it. So that is we called a cognitive stage. Yes. You are curious, so you need to know about that. You need to learn about that game. And next is associative stage. So
Okay, ma'am.
okay, can you read it?
Associative stage. During this stage, the learner begins to demonstrate a more refined movement through practice.
Okay, so associative stage class, during this stage, the learners begin to demonstrate a more refined movement through practice. So in a volleyball game, in the first stage, you are curious. So you need to know and learn what are the strategies and techniques or how that volleyball game being played, or what are the proper execution of playing that kind of game. So in associative game stage, you are now applying, or you are now executing the specific skills of volleyball, right? You are now practicing. So you undergo training and practice. And the last stage is autonomous stage. So what is autonomous stage, Jordan?
During this During this final stage of learning, the motor skill becomes mostly automatic. Progression to this level of learning allows the learner to perform the skill in any environment with very little cognitive involvement compared to the first stage.
Okay, so autonomous stage during this final stage of learning. So this is the final stage of motor learning. So the motor skills become mostly authentic. So now you are now being able to execute automatically the specific skills of the volleyball. You are now automatically know how to play the volleyball, how to serve, how to smash, how to get the ball from the opponent's team. That is we call the autonomous stage. So keep in mind, class, that the learning process can take different lengths of time, and progression can be dependent on a variety of factors such as motivation of learners, feedback received, environmental stimuli, and organization of practice. Okay, now let's proceed to the 5 characteristics of motor learning. Okay, can you read? Who wants to read? Okay, Daisy. Read the first characteristic of motor learning.
The first characteristics of motor learning is an internal process that cannot be observed from an external perspective. This means that how much an athlete has learned is an unknown factor from an outsider's perspective. Because motor learning takes place inside the learner's brain, and the muscular movements are only a reflection of the brain activities.
Okay, thank you. So, motor learning cannot be
Observed from an external perspective.
okay. It cannot be observed it cannot be observed from external perspective. It's inside in our brain. Okay, next. Oh, okay, Julie, again, you.
The second characteristics of motor learning is a set of processes for the purpose of reaching specific learning objectives. Obviously, different types of learning will produce different results, and sports scientists continuously search for the best motor learning processes for particular motor skills based on individual differences.
Yes, it has a specific goals in order to achieve those goals by learning new skills, by learning through practices, through training. So that is a motor learning. So next characteristic is
The third characteristic of
Okay.
motor learning is the goal of motor learning is to form the designated motor behavioral habits through proper training.
yes, of course, when you undergo training or practice, your behavioral habits occur. Just like, for example, in a volleyball game, you are consistent in playing, consistent to go in training, so your learning are developing and excelling. That is called motor learning. That is the goal of motor learning. So the fourth characteristic. Oh, okay. Okay, you. Why are you laughing?
The fourth characteristic of motor learning is once a motor skill is learned, it becomes relatively permanent and will not be easily forgotten.
Okay, so once our motor skills are learned, it will never be forgotten. It will be what? Are you listening? It will be permanent. Okay, it will be permanent. It will never forgotten once you learn your skills. Just like, for example, when you drive a car, and then of course you will not forget how to drive a car because you already know how to drive. Okay, next characteristic, the last characteristic of motor learning.
The last characteristics of motor learning is that, according to Wang and Young,
Yes.
motor learning is not value-free and it can be negative to form a bad habit that is extremely hard to be changed once it is formed.
Okay, thank you. So now let's proceed to the last topic, which is motor performance. So what is motor performance?
Motor performance is an end result or outcome of executing a motor skill that can be observed from an external perspective.
Okay, thank you. So motor performance is the end result or outcome of executing a motor skills that we observe from the external perspective. So that is your overall learning. So that just like, for example, if I am your coach in a volleyball team, in a volleyball game, and then I can see you how to play and how to execute during the game or during the competition. So that's it. I can see your performance, the performance of your learning skills. So now, class, let's have an activity. I'll group you into 5 and count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And after that, go to your respective groups.